Hello, welcome to Daily Leadership Podcast. We focus on faith, we focus on tech, we focus on relationships and everything you need to hear. So let's subscribe and keep listening to us and enjoy this. Yeah, that's cool. So, are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good,
Yeah.
David.
So just a very short one. I know you're very busy, and I really want to appreciate you for the time because I know it's just very quick came to my heart. I said, let me get contact with you, and even the speed of acceptance has been amazing for me, considering your time schedule. I know it's very busy for you. So let's start with the first one. Like, okay, how's the journey been? Overview. How's the journey been for you, right from your first tech company? Because I read through that, I've been following a lot of stuff. That Fuerte technology, and then all the way to
Mhm.
identity pass, then all the way to orthogon AI. Just kind of give us a brief of how the journey has been for you in tech generally.
So keeping it brief, I declared National University, my BSc Computer Science. I had a diploma too in Computer Science as well. So before I got finished, 2015 into 2016, I had, so I incorporated early 2015, 2016 March precisely. I incorporated 40 Technology Solutions. Prior to that time, I'd built several products in the educational sector, portal, computer assessment, school management portal, attendance system, and many more others for higher institutions. And I made effort to start selling. Uh, so this I was doing when first compared sometime 2015, yeah, and 2016 March. That's for 40. And when I came out of school, I was struggling with sales. I was still trying to get my rack around the industry. I moved around. I stressed a lot actually. And so while we just had only two, three sales, yes, two, three sales, and for less than a millionaire. uh, millionaire, two sales, and I had a team of four persons, which I was two. I was paying two. I was not paying two in that way. Then my elder brother said to me, "Oh, I think it's time you get some more enterprise experience. I know you'll be providing softwares behind the scene. Need to know experience for people who are providing core solutions to end customers is very important. So I could remember clearly then I applied for a couple of jobs, about three, four jobs like that. And yeah, I myself at AppZone Group. So at AppZone Group, as a cybersecurity guy. From there, position of lead cybersecurity guy. What stopped me from paying some employees who were still going about trying to sell. But that price experience then gave me some very good exposure on how to better engage end customers. I really then I started using that to fix a whole things around me. Then uh, just to keep it short, between 2015 and 2023, I jumped on Sneeze and I failed in three
Wow.
years, last 7 years. I jumped on six companies and I failed in three. I failed in three. I failed in three. So at AppZone, I started Sandbox. While I was at AppZone, I started Health Connect. Coming from AppZone, I started Health Connect, so the health insurance system that brings the NHIS guys, the HR guys, and enrollees. So I was trying to bring all of these guys. But there's this corruption in the system that knocks me out. So my market was not very intact. So yeah, a good amount of capital. I had the size 10. I was funding from proceeds I was getting from my salary and others. So I kept on mixing to see how I could play very tangible change in the system. Then the final thing hands on while I was still at Abzone was a sports betting system, and that was TechVans. So TechVans built a sport betting system that guys in the sport betting place can live and yeah and do what they prefer. So and we got the first customer, from the first customer, second, third, and that's how we grew the business to a software that was processing over 5 billion naira in every month. Because Africans are very reliant on quick cash. So cash is like the betting system. I've never played the bet before. Built a very interesting system, so it's still very much alive. So I did not stop there. The money was I had this enterprise experience. Then I came out. I was like, okay, it's time to give back the industry. I was not money motivated. I was vision motivated, and this because I have these very solve African biggest problems. But I still wanted to solve core problems. Then I started building some stuff in the biometric space. Landed me to Forbes. So there's this Forbes. Forbes came to Nigeria to carry out a Nigeria business. So I landed on Forbes, Nigeria Security Program, technology solutions, with some deployed. Don't forget that there was still the educational sector. So I had to pipe that guy in. I had to pipe that guy in. I had this friend who was doing better stuff and he had vision as you just take over. So also the biometric systems, and it was very biometrics and artificial intelligence, and that's how my space trying to solve problems in the biometric space as well. And they were like, David, we can also work, and this was around 2020, early 2020, 2019, 2020, and that said, so that's if you notice identity identity verification at Nigerian African businesses and is servicing a whole lot of digital businesses in Africa, handling millions over every month. And beautiful. Yeah, I was the only engineer. And missed the co-founders and yeah, we kickstarted and we built Identity Pass. We exited Identity Pass prior to my Valley business in 24 months. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, very well. Very well. I'm hearing you clearly.
Oh, okay. Then leaving Identity Pass, don't forget there's still TechVan on one side. Started doing some hands-off on some of these businesses. They also from some of those. What made me pass was as it dawned on me that to take on so African businesses need to leverage infrastructure player who is going to power in love intelligence that is going to propel Africa to the next level to go. And strongly, the future of artificial intelligence largely on the shoulder of Africans, and we can this narrative. We are this narrative and the landscape. So did a couple of interviews and we have of artificial intelligence professional in Africa, but a lot of them are underskilled. The whole process of is leveraging on AI It's complex, and businesses need to make very decision, intelligent decisions in their day-to-day businesses in split seconds. There was need to solve this problem, and not just intelligent software alone, bringing also the hardware. So there was need to solve this problem, and that's where the came in. And today we have businesses in Nigeria, even outside Nigeria as well, and we are growing very fast. We recently launched August 15th, 2023, but yeah, we've been here before the main launch, and businesses, and we are still growing as fast as possible. To driving African frontier, the whole globalization in terms of the fifth industrial revolution that's coming in, and revolution is going to be a revolution where machine synergy is really going to work very closely together. Africans can frontier from our businesses on a day-to-day basis, softwares, solving African biggest problems, leveraging machine intelligence, a whole lot of models today, even the one that some Africans, white folks, and there's a whole lot of bias. A whole Africans data is not being captured. Africans still captured, so there's a very major problem. Even some people leverage recognition technologies from AWS and others. There's a whole lot of bias, and these things were trained on people's skin, white people's faces. Recently, a black man placed his hand, if refused to dispense, a white man dispense. So these are challenges. This whole global transformation, and the 10 trillion naira worth of revenue coming into the year in 2025. I see if we go, I see Africa owning more than 30%.
That's wonderful. Really, I can really see that passion to, focus on just solving African problems, and it's very, very important we do that. It's very important we have. Sometimes I tell people, everybody just feels, oh, I can just abscond, let me just run away from this. But people are not really looking like, how can I really solve the problems that we're facing the most? But now, concerning those problems, we all know like what everybody's kind of running into now is just the fintech. So it's like you didn't have that, mind to like maybe be the next Flutterwave Wave or Paystack, or your mind isn't just goes that direction or something like that. But money problem is quite a huge problem in Nigeria.
Okay, so we have interesting. Yes. No doubt the finance sector is an opener to so many other sectors. So no doubt. We have very fantastic people who are doing great job. So the fintech ecosystem is very broad. Like a company that's categorized as a fintech under the fintech body, and this is just focused on identity verification. So the fintech space is broad. So the existing guys, they need enabling platforms to be able to do better. So Octagon AI is playing at that infrastructure layer where digital businesses in Africa can leverage that enabler and 10x their growth, 10x their revenue, 10x their efficiency at every point in time.
Okay, so that means what you're looking at in Octagon AI is to build the platforms or which businesses can, grow and kind of. Okay, so that's kind of
exactly. So digital businesses will rely on.
Okay. So that means you work more with developers, right? Who will keep building on your platforms, right?
B2B, exactly. Developers and more developers and businesses. So it's more of a B2B than a B2C.
Oh, okay. So now there's a question that I really want
That's
to ask.
business to business than business digital
Business to consumers, yeah.
Okay.
So how do you connect with these developers? Like, since you're running a B2B, how do you connect with those developers who are going to build on your platform? Is there a kind of, do you like you join forums or how do you connect to them?
Okay. So, firstly, when you're doing something very interesting, uh, you can't you can't stay hidden for too long. Uh, yeah, you can't stay hidden for too long. That's one. People will fetch you out. So that's number one. Then number two, um, I belong to several communities. Over a decade of experience in the tech space. I belong to several communities. I know guys that know guys. I know guys. I know guys. I know people and have followers. And these followers are devs and engineers. And I've worked with several engineers. So it just takes, oh, this fantastic stuff is ready. And this is the next big thing that's going to 10x your growth. And people begin to integrate. Check it out. Let me check it out. Let me see the link. Let me check it out. Is there a free credit? Yeah. So
Okay, so that means it's very important you leverage on a network space, like between your network, right?
very important actually.
Okay, so now for Autogon AI now, what are the key industries where Autogon AI has had the most significant impact?
Oh, the finance space actually.
The finance, right?
The the finance space actually. So finance and insurance space are the two main
So how
significant
how how
industries that
can
will
then
add most.
how can a finance company build on Autogon AI?
Okay. So there are several problems that the finance space are facing today. For instance, transaction transaction fraud detection. So it's very important that a fintech has smart system to be able to classify the transaction and say this transaction is fraudulent or this transaction is not fraudulent. That's not just it alone. So from knowing if a customer is going to churn or not. So if this customer is going to churn, this customer came in 3 months ago, and from his behavior, is looking at churn means he's going to exit our platform. So if I know this customer is going to churn, so the AI tells the business this customer is going to churn. So then they begin to play some interesting strategies and give the guy more offers, give him some discounts, dash him some vouchers to keep him more engaged with this. You reduce churn if you are able to tell. So the way AI works, it studies their customers' data patterns and predicts the likelihood of an event occurring. Okay, take for another example, in the insurance space, knowing if a customer is going to file a claim in the next 6 months, that's a major problem. Oh, we just onboarded this guy, and in less than 6 months, he's already filing a claim. So if everyone is filing, so if they already know this guy is going to file a claim, then they adjust their strategies. Okay, understanding a user's behavior to know the best plan to allocate into. If the guy, okay, is a diabetic patient, he smoke, he does this, he does that, he has some characteristic traits that shows that, oh, we're going to spend as an insurance company, we're going to spend more money maintaining this guy's life. So the AI then predicts the best plan for such person and how best to engage such person that you
Okay.
maximize his experience and at the same
Okay.
time you don't run a loss.
Okay. Does that mean that the AI kind of provides more insight into data? The Autogen
Yes.
AI.
So
Yeah.
it reads their data and provides insight about their customers, about their
About their
business. So it just
customers.
generates a whole lot of insight. Exactly. So
Okay.
if you know what best products to sell to your customer. Why
Okay.
waste time pushing 10 items?
Different
If I know
things.
this
So,
customer, he needs a bottle of beer, I just give him a bottle of beer.
oh, that's interesting. So now,
Like
where do you
a
see where do you see?
digital business knows, sorry to cut you, a digital
Yeah, I get
business
it.
has 10 advertisements to push, and the AI tells them advertisement number three is the best one that's going to engage your users. So
Yeah,
why push 10? Why don't you just push one? So you minimize cost of pushing anything, and you have a more narrowed scope to engage your end customers.
that's That's interesting. No, so where do you see the future of the future of AI and machine learning in the next probably couple of years? Where do you see the future of it? As someone who's the CEO of an AI company.
Okay, so I'll tell you both the good and the bad. Um, and and an interesting way to predict the future is to look at consumer behaviors with even existing technology. So there are prototypes today. Now, like one of the interesting behaviors you see, there's what we call cyborgs. Cyborgs, uh, breeds of human machine all working together and all. Um, so someone who has an amputated leg and you bring in a machine and attach to him is a cyborg. Someone who has a brain or you need an extra sight technology on your eye and it aids you with your vision, you're a cyborg. Now, today, human beings, everyone around you is becoming a cyborg without knowing. If you go check the number of minutes they spend pressing their phones, humans are becoming cyborg. And for every single second you spend pressing your phone, you are generating data. So human beings are getting much more engrossed about their phones. Um, and not just their phones, more engrossed about the digital ecosystem, interconnected ecosystem of more other humans in different countries, different continents and all. And it's interesting. So coming like one of the ones Elon Musk is pushing, it's integrated to your brain, and your brain can be connected to the internet. So when you're streaming, so these are in line with the fifth industrial revolution, where we're going to be having a whole lot of human machine synergy. So we're going to have more cyborgs. So this is not really much of an advantage, it's also a disadvantage. Um, uh, so we're going to have more humans. So we'll have bigger online communities, but less physical communities. So this is another disadvantage. But where AI is going, we're going to solve the world's biggest problems by understanding data. Imagine the pharmacist giving you the right drug that is going to vitalize your body, not a general paracetamol or chloroquine or whatever. Your data patterns of your body is properly being analyzed, and this is what we call personalized medicine. These are some interesting part of artificial intelligence. So there's the killer part of artificial intelligence, the bright side of artificial intelligence. The more we study data, the more we're able to solve our biggest problem. The more we leverage machine advantage, the more we also lose more jobs. Yes, some new jobs to be created, but the rate of the job loss is going to be more crazy. Yeah. So many countries, there will just be very few jobs in less than 5, 6 years. So there's the bright side of AI, there's the crazy side of AI. So it's just for the government to come in and see how they can minimize the impact of the crazy side of AI. There's going to be more cyber theft because your data are being used to train these AI models. So, we have a whole lot of AI of this. There are so many safety kits we've been building into Octagon AI. But yes, government needs to come in and bring in some regulation touch points because with AI, people are not generating fake videos, fake audios. I can clone your voice today and generate a sample voice notes and send it $500, $1,000, $10,000. And this is actually crazy. So there's the bright side of AI, there's the dark side of AI, and government needs to come in and and see that the impact of the dark side of AI is greatly truncated, and players in that space they regulate it efficiently, and the bright side, they continually fuel the bright side. So part of the bright side is autonomous systems. And yeah, Autogon AI is also going to be powering a lot of autonomous systems. Like imagine a Kuda bank or a Fair Money or an Access Bank today, and Access Bank, their entire software, their entire infrastructure needs to only be operated by one person. That's what the power of what AI can do. It can take the job of the sales guy, automate it, can take the job and do it far better than what that sales guy will do. Take the job of the marketing guy, take the job of the IT guy, take the job of the business analyst and growth guy, and AI will do the entire intelligence and ensure the business revenue and profit is well maximized. The customers are having a great experience with a very interesting reporting to stakeholders. And this is of what AI can do. So, and a lot of people will be caught out of jobs. Yeah, Autogon is going to be frontline in pushing a lot of autonomous system in line with before next year, June, July, our finance autonomous system is going to be out. Yeah, so more people will lose their job, but they should not be scared, because government can begin to place contingencies like universal basic income, where people earn free money. Government tax the entrepreneurs and pay people who are free, and people just earn money for nothing, and just eat, enjoy your life, focus on love, focus on things that matter the most. Because a lot of people will lose their jobs. AI is also driving Amazon. Amazon is deploying more robots in their factories. A whole lot of automation is happening at Amazon. Aside Amazon, Google, Facebook, a whole lot of autonomous systems are being deployed. So more people are losing their jobs. Self-driving cars, once it goes live, millions of users in the US are losing their jobs because a lot of self-driving cars will just be on the road, moving up and down, and it's just AI is controlling this thing. So, so there's a bright side of the future of AI. There's a dark side. So government just needs to come in and see how they can regulate the dark side and minimize the impact.
That's wonderful. And let me now ask about that now. So, what collaborations are you probably planning with the government or with other partners concerning this development in the future?
Okay, so we are already working with some government-related bodies in Nigeria today, and we are open to working with some more government bodies. We're looking at Ghana, Kenya. So firstly, the right regulation should be in place to regulate the AI space, data processing space, one. Secondly, government needs to start planning for the future. China is the industry model of the future of any developing country. This statement was released about 5 years ago on CNN, and it's brilliant. China plans their economy 10, 20, 50 years, where they want to be. Africa, it's time for African countries, African presidents to begin to plan the affairs of the nation in the next 5, 10, 20 years. Where do we see the future of our darling country? Oh, in line with this is where the global economy is going into, and how can we put the right mitigations at every point in time to ensure Nigeria or Ghana or Kenya or Rwanda stays on top of the chart. Like if people begin to lose mass job loss, there should be an abundance of food. There should be abundance of water. There should be abundance of housing, free housing. The government needs to start planning other means of generating the GDP. There should be interesting facilities that will welcome in tourists. To national revenue should no longer come from taxation alone, heavy on taxation of the citizens, but diversity planning for this interesting future early enough. And yeah, we started working with the Nigerian body actually, and we are open to working with as many more bodies in Africa and outside Africa.
That's interesting. Really, really interesting. I'm learning a lot. Okay, let me just ask some questions. Some guys asked me to just ask you. Said, okay, at what point, before we get back to some of those UAC parts now, he said, at what point in your tech business do you need to like, okay, let me say that again. At what point in your tech business industry do you need to start considering working or recruiting people, right? Yeah, that's so. At what point in your tech business industry will you start thinking to recruit people?
Okay, so we have been recruiting for many years actually, and we are still like recently we just finished recruitment on sales. The window is going to get opened again in 2-3 months time. We need more engineers, we need more interns, and by the time the hardware system is coming into play, it's interesting to know that in Africa we lack solid hardware engineers, people who design circuits,
Yeah.
interesting circuits, from the resistors to the transistors to the diode, to the ICs, and programming these things efficiently. Where we just have very few people that could do this, and this is a problem. These are interesting skills that will grow the economy outside the software space. So yeah, we've just finished a batch of recruitment. In 2, 3, 4 months from now, we'll open again another batch of recruitment. And once the hardware, a whole lot of interns will come learn, and I'll recruit a whole lot of powerful guys in process.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that's nice. But I think what hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Oh, I lost you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Sorry, I
you.
went to turn on the light.
Okay. So yeah, and
It's
what they're
getting
asking
warm
us is
now.
that if,
Talk
for
to me.
example, now, like the way you grew and started up your business, like if I'm to start my
Okay.
business today, when should I start thinking of recruiting people? I think that's what they asked after that.
Oh, money is the oil of every business. So I, I, I would say you can get your business started. Um, you can get your business started yourself alone. So it depends on the kind of business. So if it's a technology business and you have the technical skills and you have one, give to that one customer, be making money. Ask that customer, refer me to another customer. From there you have two, from there you move to three. And you now want to go and recruit from the business proceeds. And also you can go the route of, okay, I have some spare cash I could spare. And you begin to bring some interesting people on the board from the very ground zero to come assist with build up from the ground zero. So it depends on the kind of business. The approach differs. There's no one cast in stone formula to get it started.
All right. So now the
Hello?
next one is, can you recruit
Yeah.
your family members to work with you?
I would like to. It's a very difficult one. For me, I won't advise it.
Your advice.
I won't advise
Your
it.
advice.
So there's a whole emotions and see finish. And
Yeah,
business is business, family
yeah,
is family.
family,
So you might find it difficult with such family member distinguishing business and family.
family.
And me, I can be very strict with quotes. And by the time you bring that phase of being strict, you can begin to cause family wahala.